Ladies, I need you to stop playing it safe. I need you to stop being too nice. Now, I'm not saying don't be kind, don't be loving, don't be empathetic, because those are all incredible traits. But there's a difference between being kind and being a doormat. There's a difference between being loving and letting people walk all over you. You see, society has taught us that women should be sweet, agreeable, patient, and passive. But I'm here to tell you enough. Stop watering yourself down to fit into some mold that makes other people comfortable. Your value isn't in how much you can put up with. It's in how much you demand respect, how much you dare to set boundaries and say, no, that's not acceptable. We live in a world that constantly encourages us to be agreeable, to go along with what others want, and to always put other people's needs before our own. Society has ingrained this idea that being nice means sacrificing your own desires, your own comfort, and your own needs in favor of making others happy. But here's the problem. When you continuously water yourself down to please others, you lose sight of who you truly are. You end up making yourself smaller to fit into spaces and expectations that weren't meant for you. When you do this, you start to silence your own voice. You stop asking for what you want because you're too concerned about how others will react. You start second guessing yourself, doubting your own worth, and eventually you forget that your needs matter too. The more you try to please, the more you lose your power. You give it away piece by piece until you have nothing left to give. This doesn't just hurt you, it hurts your potential. It stops you from becoming the person you're meant to be, the person who is strong, confident, and unapologetically herself. The truth is, you can't build meaningful relationships or accomplish anything significant if you're constantly focused on making everyone else comfortable. When you're always bending to someone else's will, you end up in situations where your voice doesn't matter, where your needs are ignored, and where you are undervalued. By trying to avoid conflict and by playing nice all the time, you're actually inviting people to take advantage of you. You become a people pleaser, someone who is willing to compromise their own happiness just to keep the peace. We've all been there, agreeing to something we didn't want to do or staying silent when we should have spoken up, simply because we didn't want to disappoint anyone. But here's the reality. When you consistently water yourself down to make others comfortable, you're not only doing a disservice to yourself, but you're also setting the wrong expectations for those around you. People will start to expect that you'll always say yes, that you'll always go along with whatever they want, and that your needs are secondary to theirs. This is a dangerous path because eventually you will resent them, you will resent the situation, and ultimately you will resent yourself. There is a cost to being too nice. It comes at the expense of your peace of mind, your self-respect, and your sense of self-worth. If you're always shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's vision of what you should be, you'll never fully experience the freedom and power that comes with being authentic. You are meant to take up space. You are meant to stand tall, to assert yourself, to make decisions based on your values, your desires, and your goals. Stop trying to fit yourself into a mold that doesn't suit you. Stop trying to be everything to everyone and nothing to yourself. The world will adjust to you when you stop shrinking to make room for others. When you start embracing who you truly are unapologetically, you will find that you attract the right people, the right opportunities, and the right situations that align with your true self. Being kind does not mean you have to be a doormat. It's a misconception that kindness equates to weakness, or that being a good person requires you to let others walk all over you. There's a fine line between being compassionate and being passive, between being empathetic and allowing yourself to be taken advantage of. When you allow others to overstep your boundaries, when you constantly put their needs ahead of your own, you're not being kind to yourself, and you're certainly not fostering healthy relationships. Instead, you're teaching others that your time, your effort, and your energy are disposable, that you don't have limits, and that it's okay for them to treat you in ways that are disrespectful or inconsiderate. True kindness is not about saying yes to everything, even when it harms you. True kindness is about being honest, transparent, and setting the boundaries that protect your well-being. It's about knowing when to step up and say, this is what I can do, and also when to say, this is where I need to draw the line. Being a doormat means you sacrifice your needs and your work for the sake of others. But being truly kind means you value yourself enough to say, I deserve respect, and I will only engage in relationships that honor that. Many people fall into the trap of overgiving in relationships, whether personal or professional, because they fear confrontation or feel they'll lose the approval of others if they stand their ground. But the truth is, by letting others walk all over you, you lose far more than their approval. You lose your sense of self-worth, your peace of mind, and your ability to make decisions that align with your values. It's like constantly giving to someone who never gives back. Over time, this dynamic isn't just exhausting, it's destructive. Being a doormat also leads to resentment. The more you allow people to take advantage of your kindness, the more frustrated you'll become. At first, you may tell yourself that it's just a small thing or that you don't mind helping, but over time, these little compromises begin to add up. You start to feel unappreciated, unnoticed, and even invisible. You might find yourself questioning why you're always the one giving and never receiving, why people don't seem to recognize or value your efforts. It's because you've taught them that your kindness is unlimited, that you'll never say no, that your needs don't matter. Kindness should never come at the expense of your dignity. You don't need to compromise your own peace of mind to make others feel comfortable. Standing firm in your values, maintaining your boundaries, and prioritizing your own needs is not selfish. It's essential for maintaining your mental, emotional, and physical health. You can be kind and loving without being a pushover. You can be generous with your time, your energy, and your love, but not at the cost of your own happiness. When you start respecting your own boundaries, when you stop allowing others to take advantage of your kindness, you will find that your relationships become more balanced, more fulfilling, and more authentic. You will attract people who respect you, who appreciate your kindness, and who will give back as much as they receive. And that's the kind of relationship you deserve. Not one where you're constantly giving and never receiving, but one where kindness flows both ways, where your needs are met and where you are valued for who you are, not just what you give. Setting clear boundaries and demanding respect is not just a sign of strength. It's essential for preserving your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. If you don't set boundaries, people will walk all over you. They will take as much as you allow them to take, and you will continue to deplete yourself while they gain. Boundaries are not walls. They are protective barriers that preserve your energy, your time, and your sense of self. Without boundaries, it's too easy to lose yourself in the needs of others, in the demands of work, in the pressures of relationships, and in the expectations placed upon you by society. Setting boundaries isn't about being rude or shutting people out. It's about teaching others how to treat you. It's about making it clear what is acceptable and what is not. It's about saying, this is where I stand, and this is what I'm willing to accept from others. The people around you, whether they are friends, family, coworkers, or romantic partners, need to know where you draw the line. If you don't communicate your limits, people will assume that they can take advantage of you. They will push for more of your time, your resources, and your energy until you're left feeling drained, overwhelmed, and taken for granted. It's important to realize that boundaries aren't a one-time conversation. They're ongoing. There's something you have to actively maintain. It's not enough to just say no once and expect that people will respect it forever. You have to reinforce your boundaries consistently, especially when people test them. People will try to push you, to challenge your limits, to see how much they can get away with. But this is your opportunity to stand firm and say, I've already made my boundaries clear. I will not let you overstep them. When you set boundaries, you're also showing people that you value yourself. You're showing that you won't tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or exploitation. Respect is earned, and the way you teach others to respect you is through the way you respect yourself. The more clearly you communicate your boundaries, the more you signal to others that you have self-respect and that you are not willing to compromise your peace or your well-being for anyone. Demanding respect is not about making others fear you or intimidate them into submission. It's about establishing a foundation of mutual understanding. It's about ensuring that your needs are met while also respecting the needs of others. It's about creating a balance where everyone knows what is expected and where the lines are drawn. If you don't demand respect, if you don't set boundaries, you will find yourself in relationships, jobs, and situations that drain you. You will end up feeling resentful, underappreciated, and exhausted. When you don't demand respect, you teach people that it's okay to disregard your time, your feelings, and your efforts. But when you demand respect and set strong boundaries, you teach them that you are worthy of their consideration and their care. It's an invitation for them to step up, to treat you as you deserve to be treated, and to operate within a space where both parties feel heard and valued. Demanding respect also means not tolerating mistreatment, not settling for less than you deserve, and not allowing anyone to diminish your worth. It's about protecting your peace, protecting your energy, and knowing when to walk away from people or situations that don't honor you. Respect is a two-way street, and if you don't set the tone for how you expect to be treated, no one else will. Saying no is one of the most powerful tools you have when it comes to protecting your time, your energy, and your well-being. Yet so many people, particularly women, struggle with this simple word. We're often taught to be accommodating, to please others, to keep the peace, and to avoid conflict at all costs. But what happens when you keep saying yes to everyone and everything, even when it's at your own expense? You end up overwhelmed, stressed, and depleted with no time or energy left for the things that truly matter to you. The ability to say no is not about being rude or rejecting people outright. It's about asserting your boundaries, knowing what you can handle, and recognizing when something isn't in alignment with your priorities. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying no to something else, something more important, like your own peace of mind, your time with loved ones, or even your own self-care. Saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a person who values herself and her own needs. It's an act of self-respect, and it's necessary if you want to live a life that is authentic and fulfilling. But saying no isn't always easy. There are societal pressures, family expectations, and fears of disappointing others that make it challenging. People might try to guilt you into doing things or make you feel selfish for not going along with their requests. But the truth is, you can't please everyone, and it's impossible to meet the needs of others at the cost of your own happiness and well-being. When you say yes to something out of guilt or fear of rejection, you're allowing others to dictate your life. You're handing over control of your time and energy to someone else. And eventually you'll find yourself feeling resentful and drained. Learning to say no is an essential part of self-care and self-love. It's an acknowledgement that your time, your energy, and your emotions are valuable and finite. Saying no allows you to protect your resources and make sure that you're not overextending yourself in ways that are unhealthy or unsustainable. It gives you the freedom to focus on what truly matters to you, your goals, your dreams, your relationships, and your personal growth. Without the ability to say no, you'll find yourself running on empty, constantly trying to please everyone and feeling lost in the process. When you say no, you also open up space for the things that are genuinely important. You create boundaries that protect your mental and emotional health. You make room for the people and activities that align with your values and contribute positively to your life. You allow yourself to rest when you're tired, to say no to toxic relationships, and to step away from situations that drain you. Saying no empowers you to live intentionally, to make choices that reflect your values, and to protect your peace. It's not a rejection of others. It's a declaration of your worth and your right to take care of yourself. It's important to understand that saying no doesn't mean you're being selfish. It means you're being wise. You're making choices that prioritize your mental, emotional, and physical health. You're taking responsibility for your own happiness and creating space for what truly matters. Saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a person who knows her own worth, who values her time, and who isn't afraid to take a stand for her own well-being. And once you start saying no, you begin to notice how much more control you have over your life and how much better you feel when you're living in alignment with your true needs and desires. Knowing your worth and not settling for less is one of the most important steps you can take to build a life that is fulfilling, balanced, and authentic. Too often, people, especially women, end up settling for situations, relationships, and opportunities that don't align with their true potential simply because they don't believe they deserve better. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that what you have now is all you're worthy of, especially if you've been conditioned to think that being satisfied with less is somehow virtue. But settling for less than you deserve is not only limiting, it's an act of self-doubt and a denial of your own potential. Knowing your worth means understanding that you deserve respect, love, success, and happiness, not just from others, but also from yourself. It means recognizing that you are valuable, not because of what you do for others or how much you can give, but because of who you are. Your worth isn't defined by how much you can tolerate, how much you can sacrifice, or how much you're willing to put up with. It's defined by the fact that you are unique, you are capable, and you have the right to create a life that is fulfilling and aligned with your values. When you truly know your worth, you stop settling for toxic relationships, for jobs that drain you, for situations that don't bring you joy or growth. You understand that you are not meant to simply get by, you are meant to thrive. Settling for less is not a badge of honor. It's an invitation for others to undervalue you, to take advantage of your kindness, and to treat you as though your needs and desires don't matter. The moment you stop settling, you open yourself up to greater opportunities, deeper connections, and experiences that are in alignment with your authentic self. Too often, we stay in situations that don't serve us because we fear change, we fear the unknown, or we fear being judged for wanting more. But not wanting more is not a virtue. It's a sign that you've stopped believing in your own potential. You may convince yourself that you're being practical or realistic, but in reality, you're just playing small. You're not allowing yourself to dream bigger, to reach higher, or to ask for the things that truly bring you fulfillment. When you know your worth, you stop apologizing for your desires. You stop feeling guilty for wanting more. You stop dimming your light to make others feel comfortable. Knowing your worth also means having the courage to walk away from situations, people, or opportunities that don't honor you. It means not compromising your values or your peace just to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be. It means recognizing that your happiness isn't dependent on others' approval and that you don't need to settle for something less than what you deserve simply to avoid conflict or discomfort. When you truly recognize your worth, you start making choices that reflect your value. You stop giving away your energy to people and situations that don't appreciate you. You begin to surround yourself with people who lift you up, who value you for who you are, and who encourage you to reach your fullest potential. You stop settling for less because you know that you are worthy of all the love, success, and happiness that life has to offer. When you embrace your worth, you stop shrinking yourself to fit into spaces where you don't belong, and you start creating the life that you deserve. Strength isn't just about physical power or resilience in tough situations. It's about standing up for yourself, asserting your needs, and never backing down from who you truly are. It's about recognizing that your voice matters, that your feelings are valid, and that you have the right to create the life you want to live. So often, women are socialized to be passive, to avoid conflict, and to put the needs of others ahead of their own. While kindness, empathy, and consideration are valuable qualities, they should never come at the expense of your own strength and authenticity. True strength comes from knowing when to say no, when to walk away, and when to stand firm in your decisions. It's about having the courage to make choices that align with your values, even if they go against what others expect of you. It's about setting boundaries that protect your time, energy, and peace of mind. It's easy to go along with what others want, to keep the peace and to be nice. But strength is found in the ability to say no when something isn't right for you. It's the ability to step into your power and to show up as the person you are, not who others want you to be. When you start standing up for yourself, you'll notice how much easier it becomes to make decisions that serve your highest good. You'll begin to respect your own needs and give yourself permission to take up space. You won't feel the need to apologize for prioritizing yourself, because you'll recognize that your happiness, well-being, and success are just as important as anyone else's. Strength comes from not seeking approval or validation from others. It's about knowing that you don't need permission to pursue your dreams, to follow your passions, or to demand respect. Being strong means not allowing others to treat you in ways that don't honor you. It means speaking up when you feel disrespected or when someone crosses a boundary. It's about not tolerating mistreatment in any form, whether it's in a personal relationship, at work, or in social settings. Strength is the ability to recognize when a situation isn't right for you and to have the courage to walk away from it. It's about not staying in relationships or environments that diminish your sense of self-worth or keep you in a state of constant compromise. True strength doesn't come from staying in situations that drain you, exhaust you, or make you question your worth. It comes from the realization that you have the power to change your circumstances, to choose the people you surround yourself with, and to prioritize your own happiness. When you start standing up for yourself, you start creating a life that reflects your true values and desires. You stop letting fear or doubt hold you back, and instead you lean into your power. You begin to trust yourself, your decisions, and your ability to create the life you want. Being strong isn't about being perfect or never making mistakes. It's about having the resilience to get back up when things don't go as planned, the courage to keep going when it's hard, and the confidence to believe in your own work. Strength is found in the ability to be vulnerable and authentic, to embrace who you are without apology, and to demand respect from others. Strength is about knowing that you are worthy of everything you desire and that you have the power to create the life that reflects your true potential.